Give a quick rundown of the Tokenomics Hub. It's the platform that we're planning to build, that we'd really like to build out further. It's a prototype right now, and we've got a bunch of protocols on here that mainly come from what we have done with Tokenomics DAO. And for most of these, there exists a Tokenomics 101 article, which is like a long form article describing the specific tokenomics of a protocol. So in this case, let's have a look at Balancer maybe. Balancer, we've got a little category, tags, a bunch of different sections that you can look into and analyze the token. There's the token strength, different groups of how we think this token performs, how well it links to the business model, captures and creates value, where demand comes from. Then we have some stats on like the total supply and max supply. This is definitely something we want to expand on later. Really something that the space doesn't really have is good information on where is the current issuance of tokens going, and where do we see demand come from. So a lot of that is currently in basic features, but we really want to build that out and allow people to better analyze these protocols. We've got some analytics content here on like strong and weak points, investment takes. We've got a timeline of what's changing. So in a recent case, like DYDX changed their tokenomics. I just went in and changed that here. We want to have like an insights into the supply, vesting schedule, and that ideally in the future also to be dynamic, coming from real on-chain data, potentially seeing how this stuff is really going, allowing people to model different scenarios, stuff like that. We have our diagram that explains and describes how the token actually works, what it does. So we really think this is useful, and we've got a lot of good feedback on this being useful. So we'll keep adding these and keep creating these. And of course, currently this is more of a, okay, the author can create it, the author can edit it, can change this content, create this content, but in the future we'd like to have this to be more interactive, so people can give comments. Maybe there's a feed where people can discuss and debate stuff, because we see this a lot in our community. People talk about different tokens, which token models are better, how they behave, what they do, what maybe their predecessors were, where they borrowed from, and all that kind of stuff. And we really want to make this page here that we have that's currently quite static, we want to make this interactive so people can really nerd out about the tokens of this specific particular protocol. And then there's the author, right? So in this case, I created this one. And if we zip over to my profile, we'll see that I've created a bunch of other protocols with various different topics or categories perhaps, right? So maybe I'll have some experience in DeFi because I've created an analysis of Thorchain, DYDX, Balancer, and Credo, which are all sort of in the DeFi space. And in the future, we're currently working on reputation. We'll also list the reputation of the specific user here. So in my case, that could be, I've worked with a metaverse client. I've worked with a client in the DAO space, and they could all be listed here because completion of a consulting project, we could mint a reputation NFT or a verifiable credential that can then be listed here. So this is really then becomes my reputation in this space, and it's not proprietary to the Tokenomics Hub. These can all be NFTs on chain, and the user can own them. But the interesting part is that this then really becomes this sort of CV for people, and people can build out that reputation. And what we can use it for, of course, is for consulting. So let's say there's a protocol that comes onto the Tokenomics Hub, and they create their design, have some ideas, and they want someone to review it. And they want this person to have expertise in the area that they want to work in, right? So maybe they're looking for somebody in the refi space. And I've done nothing in the refi space, but maybe there's someone else. So they can search for people in the refi space and maybe post a bounty. And then somebody who has collected by creating content, by doing other projects, has collected enough reputation, he'll then land the gig and be able to earn some money in this space. And that's really what we want to provide, this platform that connects projects with people. And so, also something that we think is happening and that we're already seeing is protocols approaching us and saying, like, we want to get listed on the Tokenomics Hub, so they can create their project here and add all their content, all these details that you've seen on the other screen, they can add that here and submit that for review by the community. And we really want to make this an interactive process. And then additionally, we've built a bunch of tools. We built the tokenomics evaluation framework, design framework. We have this calculation template as part of it. So we started creating this as a little part of the prototype where people can just calculate their vesting and their distribution or allocation, right? They can see here, okay, my 100 tokens, this is how they're going to be distributed over time. This is not the right number. How they can be distributed over time and how that looks in terms of allocation for my team. And we really want to build this out into the area where we've gone with a calculation template where people could simulate different scenarios. Maybe we'll build something for investors. So these are kind of like the areas that the Tokenomics Hub prototype is currently in and where we want to take it to.